Rings of Power news. So there's been some casting news, and at least one major thing has happened. The actor Joseph Maul appears to be out as Adar, and is being replaced by Sam Hazeldine, although no reason has been given by Amazon Studios. In other news, rejoice, for my new microphone has finally arrived, so let me know if that's sounding any better for you, or alternatively, if it still sounds like I'm trapped down a well. The source for this information was the UK Independent, so take it with a grain of salt. That being the source for the Rings of Power casting, not the source for me having a new microphone. You'll just have to take my word for that. But the article was named Lord of the Rings of Power's Adar actor Joseph Maul explains why he's quit series, and spoiler, the article doesn't actually explain why he quit the series. It's also unclear if he actually did quit. The article says Maul made his debut as the Orc leader when the first season of the series, based on the work of J.R.R. Tolkien, was released on Prime Video in September. He took centre stage as the series progressed, and by the end of the season is shown to become the King of the Southlands, before changing the location's name to Mordor in a reveal that was criticised by fans. While the series will bring Adar back for more in Season 2, it's been revealed that Maul will no longer play him, but Maul shared an explanation on Twitter shortly after. He wrote, "I loved my time exploring Middle-earth and diving into Tolkien's mythology. I'm so honoured that the character was liked. He cared deeply about telling you his story. Though as an actor, it remains my wish, my job description, to explore new characters and worlds. Wishing all the best to cast and crew for Season 2. I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines," and he even blows them a kiss. And none of that's very helpful. He's being very diplomatic about why he's leaving, which is probably a good career move regardless of his motives. If he left and said, "I'm going because Amazon Studios and this show are awful," it could well hurt his chances of future work. But why did he leave? Well, there are a few possible options. He could have asked for more money and been refused. Amazon could have offered less money and he refused to work for them after that, because some of the money Amazon are allegedly paying seems very low for the most expensive show ever made. He could have simply got a better offer. He could have thought that being attached to this project would hurt his future career, or it could be that he just didn't enjoy working on it. It seems we may not know for some time, if ever, what the reason was for his departure, but his statement suggests he maybe wasn't enjoying it and wanted to move on to pastures new, which would not be a surprise as Amazon Studios barely allowed him to act. Joseph Maul can act better than he was allowed to demonstrate in the Rings of Power, and has shown it in many things, including as Benjen Stark in Game of Thrones. Sam Hazeldine as Adar sounds like a safe enough pair of hands though. He's been acting for over 20 years, including supporting roles in The Witcher and Peaky Blinders. In other news, the UK paper The Metro had an interview with Bernard Hill, who played Theoden in the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy, and he was very critical of the Rings of Power in an article titled "Lord of the Rings star Bernard Hill slams the Rings of Power as money-making venture." Lord of the Rings star Bernard Hill has slammed spin-off series The Rings of Power as a money-making venture, insisting he's not interested in watching it. The actor starred as King Theoden in the original trilogy and has said he had a wonderful time filming the beloved movies. However, when asked if he's watched the Prime Video's prequel series, which is set thousands of years before the original films, Bernard responded, "No, not interested. It's a money-making venture and I'm not interested in watching that or being in it. Good luck to them and all that stuff, but it's not like the real thing," he added. Asked if he believes the franchise would have been better if it was just left as the original trilogy, he continued, "Completely, yes. It maybe seems unfair of him to judge the series without watching it, but I watched the entire thing and I pretty much agree with his take. Apart from it being a money-making venture, because it's yet to be seen if the Rings of Power can even pay for itself." Hazeldine as Adar will join some new cast members who vary greatly in their experience and acting chops, though it's not yet revealed who will they be playing in the show. A young actress called Amelia Kenworthy is coming on board, and this is only her second project, and the first was a short. This is a very risky proposition, but at least she came from RADA, and the Royal Academy of the Dramatic Arts don't tend to shove people out of the doors who can't act. But it's still a bit like getting Sophia Non-Vete as Disa, after she only ever had 2 other acting projects, and one of them was as Captain Hey-Ho in the children's TV game show Swashbuckle. And no, that will never stop being funny.
Sumptuous delight, that's neither sweet nor sour. Some gloopy pink goop and a cauliflower. Now all we need is lots more flour. Cooking, we're cooking, we made a dish.
I had to look up most of the new actors, as I didn't know them from their work. Gabriel Akawudike is coming on board, who had a bit part in Game of Thrones. I only remember him having a few lines in it though. Yasen Ator, who had a bit part in The Witcher, is also coming into the show, and also Nia Towle. Sadly, none of them have really been in much, and when they have, they were mostly in small supporting roles. In contrast, Ben Daniels is also coming on board, and he's great. I like his work a lot. Nicholas Woodson is also in. He's been steadily acting since 1980, so they both seem like good picks. It's hard to see how they won't deliver for the show. Ben Daniels has been in loads of things, including a supporting role in the Carl Urban and The Rock Doom movie. But so far it sounds a lot to me like business as usual for Amazon Studios. It's just another achingly diverse group of actors that probably won't even fit the story again, and none of this will change the course of the show. In The Rings of Power for me, the problem was never the cast, it was the script. The world building or lack of it, the errors in fact and continuity, the characters consistently teleporting, the story and some of the direction. And without changes in those departments, even the best actors in the world are going to be wasted in this project. They could have had Charles Dance playing Pharazon and it would not have fixed this show in the slightest.
Could you make me a cup of tea please, Stephanie?